The very first sentence of Parashat Noach tells us that Noah was upright in his generation. Anyone familiar with rabbinic interpretation will immediately be drawn to that phrase because it seems superfluous. Why doesn't the Torah just tell us Noah was upright? What does it mean to say he was upright in his generation? What does that add to our learning? Rashi tells us there are two possible interpretations, and he himself does not choose which one is correct. One possibility is that in his generation is a form of damning by faint praise. It is only in his generation that he's considered righteous. In other words, comparatively, but not absolutely. He was a fairly decent person in a very evil generation, and thus by comparison could be considered righteous. But had he lived in a different generation, he would not have been particularly noteworthy. The other possibility is that Noah's righteousness is all the more noteworthy, given that he lived among evildoers. By this understanding, it is easy to be righteous when everyone around you is also righteous. Just as it is easier to keep kosher in Jerusalem than in New York City, and easier in New York City than in Gaithersburg. But it's harder to be righteous when all around you, social pressure is pushing you in the direction of evil. Which is true? One thing for certain that we learn from this debate is that all living is contextual. Our surroundings do influence us. It is harder to hold to our principles when all around us we see others violating them. But perhaps on the other side, we deserve all the more credit for doing so. I suspect that in the end, both possibilities that Rashi offers can be true simultaneously.